Okay, let's get down to brass tacks here, all right? I want to share with you guys some esoteric weightlifting knowledge that's been passed down to me through the gurus and masters of the sport. And I want to share with you guys 3 areas, the top 3, I would argue, the most neglected areas for improving your overall strength and athleticism. Let's take a look at it. Number 1, rotator cuffs. Okay? Number 2, calves. You know that from Dr. John Likens, PhD, Esquire. And last but not least, patella tendon, singular. So how do these areas, these neglected areas, how do they contribute to your overall strength and athleticism, and how can you train them to be the athlete that God intended you to be? Okay, let's talk about it. Firstly, you would be shocked how much of a role the patella tendon plays in having a big bench press. I'm talking about people who are putting up 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, even 1,000-pound bench presses and beyond. They all say it comes down to one factor, because everybody's training triceps, everybody's training banded bench, chain bench, incline bench, decline bench, upside down bench, hurdy-gurdy bench. But the pros, the Russians, the Chinese, the guys who are winning their freaking Olympics, taking home gold medals, they all say it comes down to one thing: patella tendon strength directly impacts your ability to bench, put up big numbers, big boy numbers, okay? So how do we train patella tendon? Remember, singular. First, you should never train. If you think you should train patella tendons, as in 2, you're talking crazy. You're talking a whole bunch of gobbledygook. That's nonsense. Never train patella tendons the same day. You want to shock the body. Shock the body. You want it to not know what just hit it. Bam! Like that. You want to train, one day you want to be training patella tendon dynamic day, patella tendon, and the other day max effort, talking like working up to a 1 rep max on your patella tendon. That could be like, jumping off a bridge and landing on one leg, letting the patella absorb that impact. That would be an example of a max effort day. You're looking at height and velocity. That's the nature of powerlifting. Height times velocity equals power. Everybody knows that. That's basic stuff. Everybody knows that. Secondly, let's talk a little bit about the rotator cuff. The rotator cuff is a cruel mistress. Cruel mistress, the rotator cuff is. You do not, let me tell you, buddy, you do not want to be put in a self-defense situation and have bad rotator cuffs. You can kiss your ass goodbye. The rotator cuff, unlike the patella tendon, you can and actually should train both at the same time. However, one should be doing an antagonistic movement, and the other should be doing the opposite of an antagonistic movement. That could be something like weighted patting your head and rubbing your tummy. All right? Weighted or banded, depending on how you want to approach that. Throwing things. And listen, here's where people, it's MLB 101. I'm a college athlete. All the pros who throw in the 150s, or throwing the baseball, throwing the pigskin 150 miles per hour, they all live by one rule, which pertains to rotator cuff. that you're trying to throw in the sport, that's stupid. Everybody knows that. That's 101. That's kiddie stuff. That's basic stuff. Stop. If you're trying to get good at throwing a baseball, trying to improve your overall rotator cuff health and fitness, don't train with the baseball. Train with something else. Like a 40-ounce adult beverage. Throw that in a residential alley at midnight. And also, you know, get creative, get innovative. I don't have all the answers. God. Calves. I know. It's a four-letter word that sends shivers down people's spines. Calves. Calves, you gotta shock them. You gotta shock the muscle. I like doing like bandit assisted, bandit assisted like leg lunges. Bandit assisted leg lunges. Also, this is probably the number one technique or tactic that you should use when training calves. I've given you a technique and tactic for each of the other ones. Almost hit a car. With the calves, go do yourself a favor. Go to the local hardware store. Buy a dowel rod, a big one. Tape that sucker up with athletic tape or electrical, doesn't really matter. In fact, you use whatever tape you want. I don't care. Duct tape, masking tape. There's all kinds of frog tape. Delicate, handcrafted Japanese Midori tape. Tape up that dowel rod. Beat the living hell out of your shins. Okay? Now, people don't know that the way to the calf is through the shin. Beat the living tarnation out of your shins. This sends it's a ripple effect. Essentially, it's a ripple effect. You probably already saw that coming though. It's a ripple effect. I'm glad you can see me. It's a ripple effect which sends basically a message, because the shin is the doorway to the calf. And the shin says, hey, we are receiving a crazy stimulus. And the shin, by the way, is not a muscle. In case you needed clarification on that. The shin is in fact a bone. Or more accurately, it's a calcified tendon. And it sends a message, it's like they're next door neighbors. I can't deal with the stimulus by myself. I need the calves to grow. Grow, grow, grow! And that, just in a nutshell, are the big three. The big three. So, see how that impacts your training. Track your gains. Stay dehydrated.